I can't believe what I've just seen. Oh my God. Chelsea 3, Everton 3. This is my match review, and I think I'm still recovering from that game. That was, well, 45 minutes of that game was probably some of the best, well, one of the most craziest games I've ever seen at Stamford Bridge. One of the most craziest games of this season. The emotions, the goals, the highlights, the ups and downs of the game of that 45. Probably over that because, of course, there was so much added time. It was a crazy day, and I think the one thing I can take away from today's game, sure, that I think there are still major problems within Chelsea in terms of the way defensively we are and other cases, but I think one thing we can say today is the fight hasn't disappeared. They're still fighting that team, and I think they proved it today when they went 2-0 down. But let's start off with the game. The team selection, I wasn't very happy with it. I was disappointed that Kennedy didn't start the game. I thought he deserved to start the game after his performance against West Brom, making that second goal, really being a force, someone who could really make something happen. And we lacked that for the whole of the first half. We really did lack that. The first half was the dullest 45 minutes I think I've ever seen in my life. Not just in football, in life. That was the dullest 45 minutes. It was, nothing happened. Then in the second half we came out and we seemed to have a few good chances. Not even chances. We looked a little bit more energised, but then Everton got up the other end. Baines and Barkley, Mirallas as well. Those three players really working well for Everton, and they get a bit of luck. And JT, unfortunately, own goal. They go 1-up, and just the atmosphere from the crowd, it was all negative from there. You could see shadows of bad days at the bridge coming back, and then it got worse, basically. Our players seemed to go into this mode of not trying, not tracking back, just leaving players like Ross Barkley, like Leighton Baines, who loves to overlap, loves to be an attacking fullback, just giving him loads of time. And the second goal proved this. Leighton Baines with a cross in, I think it was, to Kevin Mirallas. Kevin Mirallas, Kurt Zouma, John Terry right in front of him, just has all the time in the world to take it down and smash it in the bottom corner. He's a great player for Everton, and technically he's good as well. So to give any player that amount of time is absolutely criminal from Chelsea. And that's the second goal, 2-0. You're thinking that's it now. Everton will go on. They may even score another. It just looked like Chelsea had completely collapsed at the back. I thought we looked like an absolute shambles. For most of the game today, we did. And at the back, then we seem to look a little bit more lively for the next 5 minutes. But then a ball is played up by Cesc Fabregas. Now, I was watching this. Jagielka's in front of Diego Costa, who's running in behind him. I thought, no chance, too much. And then for some reason, Costa gets in front of Jagielka. Tim Howard has an absolute nightmare as well as Phil Jagielka. The ball goes through both. They seem to collide into each other. The ball goes through to Diego Costa. Takes his time, takes a touch, and then smashes it in the back of the open net. So we were back in the game. The crowd lifted. And at this point, I felt Everton completely fell apart. They seemed to, every bit of control they had in the game seemed to go. Every best player on their pitch seemed to start giving the ball away. And within 2 minutes, a ball gets played. I think it was Diego Costa, gives it into Cesc Fabregas. The ball drops to him. Cesc Fabregas takes a shot. It's deflected, I think, off Phil Jagielka in to the back of the net. 2-2, bundle all around. I probably should have gone about 4 rows in front of me. And the crowd was amazing. And it's the first time this season I've seen that from Chelsea. Then Kevin Mirallas gets a run through, a brilliant play ball through to him. He's through on goal. And you're just thinking, yeah, this is going to be a goal. But then Thibaut Courtois stands tall, makes a great save. And still, it was looking like for the last few minutes, that was going to be it. It was going to end 2-2. Then from a corner, I think Kennedy heads it out, but then a cross into the box. Bad marking all around again. Funes Mori, who'd come off the bench, gets a foot to it. It goes in the back of the net, and all of us are heartbroken. After all of that great effort, after all of that emotion of getting back into the game, we've just gone and screwed it. They've gone and scored. That's it. Game over. Another defeat, and we're back into that real mode of depression. And once again, it was a case of our defence just really, really simple mistakes. Passing, not marking men at the far post, just all round. All 3 goals were probably shambles, really. I know there was some nice play from Everton, but I think all round, especially that second goal where there was no marking, and that third goal, just criminal to give away. I think most people in the stadium thought it was over. Willian had a shot that got deflected wide, but then literally with the last kick, Fabregas loops in a ball. It gets a little bit of a knock. I think Ivanovic maybe gets ahead to it or whatever, and then it just bundles around, and it comes to JT. JT back heels it. Tim Howard flaps it, and it goes straight into the back of the net. Now, before I explain what happened when in this back of the net, yes, I know it was offside. I'm not arguing with that. I know people have been saying to me on Twitter, oh, now you think because I complained about the ref on Wednesday. yeah, the ref had another poor display, and he had a poor display for both sides. Everton should have had free kicks in the first half. There are many times, I think Fabregas, there are many times in the game where Everton had clear fouls that should have been given for them, and it wasn't. And it was the same for Chelsea. Poor refereeing all round, and I think that epitomises it. If I'm looking at it from a neutral perspective, it epitomises it that JT, how I haven't seen the replay, but my people who have said he was blatantly offside, and it did look like that from my perspective. I'm kind of looking directly on from me stand-upper, and I couldn't believe it. It was a goal, but then the emotion from it, absolutely crazy. A moment that you want to be. This is why you're a football fan, when these moments, the absolute mayhem, people just going crazy. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe we'd got back into the game. JT, who'd rectified his mistake that he made earlier of the OG. And yeah, sure, it was offside, but we've had a lot go against us this season. And sure, I think Everton will feel heartbroken because of that, because clearly it's an offside. It shouldn't have been given, but it did. And you know that's the way the cookie crumbles. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. That is a problem with refereeing in the Premier League. I will continue to say this: referees in the Premier League are bad, and that's just more proof of it. Key decisions not being given, but it's gone our way today. Most of the season it hasn't. So in a big way, we got a point. It's a massive bit of character from Chelsea. Yeah, I'm sure it's not what I wanted. 3-3, if I was to look at that result on paper at the start of the game, I wouldn't have taken it. I wanted to win, because I really think out of the league, yeah, sure, we're not getting top four now. We're still near the relegation zone, basically. But I think if we can take that sort of character into a Champions League, into an FA Cup, we can maybe still do something this season. I'm saying they're really our best. I think the FA Cup's realistic. So if we can take that sort of character, I think it could help us in, say, the FA Cup. Hopefully the boys can improve, put in a good display next week at Arsenal. But those have been my thoughts, guys. Follow me on Twitter at SonOfChelsea. We've just passed 100k views in total. I think past that, smashed that. This morning it was like 90. I've come back. It's past that. So thank you guys for that. Subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you again.